So if we're going to talk about how a song gets to #1, we need a bit of chart history. So back in the 1950s, you'd call up a shop, ask them to note down how many songs they've sold, and you've got yourself the start of a top 40. Now there are over 6,500 retailers contributing to the chart, and streams from the likes of Spotify, Deezer and Napster contribute to the top 40. Then in July 2015, the Global Music Agreement meant that albums and singles all got released on the same day, meaning the chart moved from its traditional Sunday slots.
Good afternoon, it's Friday the 10th of July 2015, it's 4 o'clock. This is BBC Radio 1 and welcome to the exciting new sound of the official chart with Greg James for the first time ever on a Friday.
Psychologists have found that people like songs they're familiar with, so in order for you to go out and buy a song or stream it, you're going to have to hear it a lot. One way that can happen is for it to get playlisted on Radio 1 or 1Xtra.
Records that are being supported quite heavily at specialists then get brought down into the playlist meeting, which happens weekly in Radio 1 in this very room. So we have conversations and relationships with record industry executives, radio pluggers, people that work for management companies, and they plug us their music too. And that's the other way that records will get into the meeting. There's a clear correlation between records that are played at a higher frequency by Radio 1 and 1Xtra and their performance in the chart. It's not always the case, but generally the correlation is quite strong there.
But even if a song is playlisted, you still need to like it for it to head up the charts.
All the right junk in all the right places. It might seem crazy what I'm about to say.
All three songs are catchy, follow the verse-chorus model, and they emphasise on a certain part of the song. In Uptown Funk, it's the build-up to Don't Believe Me, Just Watch. All About That Bass is all about repetition. You hear the phrase all about that bass about 20 times in around 3 minutes. And with Happy, well, we lost count after 40.
Bring me down, can't none bring me down.
But like with any rules, there are exceptions. You can have your novelty songs, your Christmas #1s, but there are still songs that seem to come out of nowhere.
Pretty much a shock to us. Obviously, when we dropped the single, we didn't really realise that was the reaction it was going to get.
Being in the world's biggest boy band definitely helped One Direction get to #1, but this time the surprise tactic worked. Drag Me Down is their most successful single to date and broke UK streaming records. So it just goes to show, familiarity and repetition help, but if you're big enough, you don't have to fit the mould to get to #1.